Today we find ourselves in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, for Carnival. Only a 17-hour flight from our sweet home in Alabama. In all honesty, we thought our plane would be a little bit, well, bigger. Rio sits on the eastern coast of Brazil, right near the Tropic of Capricorn. Home to over 6 million people known as Cariocas, this is the stomping ground of Pelé, the up-and-coming 2014 World Cup, the 2016 Summer Olympics, and the reason we're here today, Carnival. After arriving at our newly sexified hotel, we decide that the first thing to do is head down to the famous beaches of Rio. The only problem is, we can't seem to decide on how we want to get there. We both decide against taking a taxi, since we had already been in one all day. Renting a car is also out, because traffic is ridiculous. Not to mention, people seem to enjoy jumping out in front of cars. I wanted to take the bus, because it's cozy, cheap, and a good way to make some friends. Whitney likes the subway, but the subway never seems to like me very much. After much debating, we realized that we were almost there and decided to briskly walk the rest of the way, which gives us some quality time to answer some of life's most important and challenging questions. Alright, Emma Watson or Natalie Portman?
Yeah, that's a good one. Lamborghini or Ferrari?
Rio also boasts two of the most famous and beautiful beaches in the entire world. Copacabana and Ipanema are right at the southeastern edge of the city, sitting along the Atlantic. Our necks were already starting to get a bit red, Whitney especially, so we decided to buy ourselves some hats to keep off the harmful UVs.
This beautiful.
How much?
This 40.
40?
40 here. Yeah.
Come with a receipt. And just to keep this show family friendly, there's no way that I sling out any sort of sexual slur at this nice Brazilian hat selling man.
This Panama. Panama.
Does that work?
Lá no Leblon, ou de manhã cedo, que foi o Correio da Bala Preta.
Yeah, switch.
That one.
A place where you're never buff enough? This is where you want to come if your goal is to see some of the best talents our planet has to offer wearing next to nothing. But just in case you're expecting to see lots of smoking hot topless Brazilian babes, you will be disappointed. The locals around here never go topless, and in case you ever do see one, you can be certain they are most likely what the locals call European.
Olha aí, compadre. Macumba lá em casa só dá esses negócios assim, ó.
Man, this is hands down the most crowded beach I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, man. Pants down.
Hands down.
While Whitney went in for a bit of body surfing, I thought this would be a great time to go and pick up some ladies.
You know, in high school, my name was Meat. I'll tell you, but it's a long story. Girl, me and you like Lionel Richie. Do it all night long.
It seemed as that I was out of luck, and none of the women here understand how to properly be seduced with Alabama swagger. So I decided to go back and join in on the body surfing.
Water's freezing. I thought it'd be warmer in Africa than what it was.
We're in Africa?
We're in Africa now?
It's close to South America.
A little bit. I can't believe I said Africa. What an idiot. Sunburnt, starved, and ready for a good dose of window shopping, me and Bethany head off to LeBlanc. LeBlanc is known as Rio's mixed bag of coffee shops, eateries, high-end fashion stores, malls, and supermarkets. It has all the charm that a beachside residential suburb should, but all the activity of the center of the city to go with it. So I'm talking about, check this place out. I can get this for Bethany. People always ask me, like, how is it that you landed such a hot babe? It's a pretty easy to answer. You keep her covered up with hats so people can't see her but you, right? Anyway, I think I'll get this one for her. Keep looking around though, you never know. I'm not sure if these are boys or girls, but I think they do pretty awesome. Seems to be the trend around here at least. I ended up thinking that walking around with Sam all day was enough to give people the wrong impression. So to save Bethany some embarrassment, I passed on the banana hammock. Alright, I'm starving. I think I'm gonna hit up the Zuku for some food. Or it could be Zucco. Not sure. Anyway, it's in Portuguese, and saying the restaurant name correctly is the least of your worries. So our way around the language barrier was to find a restaurant with pictures on the menu, and bam, problem solved. Napkins. Hear that? Wax paper. It's crazy cheap.
While Whitney and his wife Bethany went off on their girly shopping adventure, I had some time to go and change and check out one of Rio's most iconic landmarks. If not Carnival, then the most recognizable thing associated with Rio is probably the Christ the Redeemer statue that sits atop Corcovado Mountain. Named one of the 7 wonders of the New World, this 130-foot tall depiction of Jesus made of concrete and soapstone weighs 635 tons. Finished in 1931 by French sculptor Paul Landowski, this is the place you want to come if you want an airplane view of the city. The best way up for all the lazy people who aren't professional hikers is to take the cog railway up the back of the mountain for a pleasant experience. Or where every day could be Halloween. When I got to the top, my breath was immediately taken away at the beauty that stretched out in front of me. From the beaches to the bay to the thick rainforest surrounding the city, it's no wonder why Rio is a top tourist destination. It's fair enough to say that Rio has its fair share of crime and violence within the city. This being the case, a lot of people find it a bit ironic that there's a giant statue of Jesus looking over the city. But I disagree. I think that it inspires hope and a little bit of peace and comfort to those who think that all is lost and they have a greater power looking over them with arms open. While up there, I stole a local guide and forced him to tell me a little local insight on the statue.
So we kind of take it for granted sometimes, you know, but it really represents one of the main icons in Brazil. So when people talk about Brazil, they always think about the statue as the main icon. And Brazil is not really an official Catholic country anymore. When the statue was built, it was. It tells us where we are in the city. It's kind of like a reference.
Okay, like a North Star kind of.
Exactly, the same thing.
Now I also met a nice man from Denver up here, and he told me that his city had just put in plans for a similar statue of Tim Tebow right outside the Rockies. And yes, I wrote that joke before he was traded. Beautiful, man. Yeah. Super big. And I did not think at all in my life I would be this high above any city standing on solid ground. After a long day of laying on the beach and climbing mountains, the only thing that I really wanted to do was take a nice nap on the way back down the railway. But unfortunately, this guy beat me to it. If you're looking to party like Jersey Shore while you're here, there's only one place to go, the Arches of Lapa. Home to musicians, dancers, artists, pimps, prostitutes, and gringos galore, Lapa is where the young usually gather on Friday nights all year round. During the daytime, this square is hardly worth visiting, but on Friday nights, it turns into the Bourbon Street of Brazil, filled with street vendors selling hot dogs and beers to live bands playing to what looks like a body-on-body rave party. We're here 2 days ago, and now lot of soul in this whole place. Carnival comes through and wipes the whole area out. After first glance of this 4-block mass of drunken Halloween characters, we decide that the smartest thing for us to do to survive the night is stick together.
Don't know where Sam is and don't care. I'm in the middle of the street vendor area. Come on, buddy. And I'm gonna get me a hot dog that here's the bomb, so follow me.
This place is awesome! I just want to dance! I don't even do that!
So us sticking together didn't really pan out once we hit the street craziness, but it gave me a good chance to get to know the locals a little bit better. Especially this fella. A quiet guy, but man, what a great listener. Anyway, I was on my way down to the Rio Cenarium, arguably the town's hottest nightclub, where apparently it can get so packed you can sit on the floor or the ceiling. The Cenarium offers some of the coolest decor and finest food I've ever seen at a club. But due to my cheapness and my general American need for cheese, we ate across the street. Back at the Cenarium, you can get one of Rio's most prized drinks, the Caprihino. It's a super sweet and tangy margarita type drink that will no doubt get you loosened up and ready to dance. And after a few, that's exactly what me and Bethany did. After a good meal, some drinks, and a disgraceful attempt at the samba, I head back into the madness to find Sam. But not before a good old-fashioned street flex-off. They won, obviously.
Where was I? I was dancing like a samba king. Even if no one else was feeling the same grooves, for that one night, I felt as though I was busting out moves like Jagger.
Finally found Sam. Samuel! What up? Where'd this go?
By the looks of things, we're both going to be missing out on Bonnaroo and Burning Man this year, so we decided to make up for it and take a walk through the hippie fair in Ipanema. The market, which is open on Sundays, started up in 1968 by some of Rio's biggest, well, hippies. Overrun with young crowds of people sorting through hundreds of colorful stalls with everything from sunglasses, jewelry, and all kinds of eccentric clothing, and if you feel like acting tough, but you're really a giant pansy, you can even get a henna tattoo. I wonder if we'll find Cheech and Chong running around here. I heard that women find married guys a little bit more attractive. Might get myself a wedding ring.
After many failed attempts in haggling with the hippies, and a couple of bouts of immaturity, we finally talked Bethany into helping us maybe find a deal.
Special price, fim de... Special.
We'll think about it. We'll come back.
Now, if we had room in our bags for some head shoppy leather mirror thing, we probably would have taken the guy up on the deal.
Which kind of president is him?
I don't know.
Rapping.
I've never met him before, so.
Hippie artist and political banner, the same in any language. And true to form for us, we haggled, we looked, and bought nothing. Before we headed down to the Sambadrome for the parade, we thought we might warm up in the hotel a little bit. In our minds, we looked like the dancer on the left, but in reality, I think we looked, well, dangerous is a good word for it. Sam, on the other hand, seemed to have a totally different idea of what the samba is. I think he thought it was a race or boxing thing, but since he seemed so happy and excited about it, we just thought we'd let him run with it.
The Carnival Samba Parade, the biggest and most famous in the world, attracts millions of tourists to come and join in with the citizens of Rio in a celebration of epic proportions.
The Carnival Festival started in Rio in 1723. The main purpose of the festival on paper is for the samba schools to compete with each other over the best costumes, floats, and music for their given theme each year. For most, however, the ultimate goal of a trip here is to experience what is known as the best party the universe has to offer. At first glance, the parade looks like a mass of people in extremely detailed outfits just jiggling. But of course, they're actually doing the samba, and people pack into this over mile-long stadium to watch this for over 12 hours.
Luckily, some of our good buds down here were able to hook us up with some sweet VIP tickets. The only thing we had to do was glitter up our faces and cheer for their alma mater.
Part of what makes the Samba Parade so incredible is the fact that it's always evolving. Every year after hosting this successful event, the only thought on everyone's mind seems to be, how can we make next year even better? Whatever they're doing it right. Because to make two boys from Alabama cheer for things they don't even know, it's gotta be kinda cool. Macy's Days Parade, Mardi Gras, this puts it all to shame. Covered in glitter and our voices hoarse, we head out at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of considered early since the party goes on until 8 a.m. So as the hours are fading on our trip in Rio, we thought what better way to end it than to head up to Sugarloaf Mountain and look back on the city. Before we made the kind of creepy tram trip to the top of the mountain, we stopped at this cool little stand and check out this drink that everybody seems to have. I thought that first sip was the last thing Sam was ever gonna do. You always gotta pay him, buddy. You always gotta pay him.
For those of you who want to have a little bit of intimate romance during your time here, there's nothing more beautiful than taking the cable car up to Sugarloaf Mountain and catching the sunset.
When we were up there, just kind of like playing God and looking down at everything.
Right. From here you feel like you're kind of still in the middle of it all, instead of on top of it.
You still kind of look at it.
Yeah, you can definitely get a better sense for the mountain region of Rio. You literally can see everything from here, and that's only the first tier. From the harbor to the beaches, the mountain range, everything. It's amazing. So we fooled around, made some jokes, and then loaded in and headed up to the top. And if you thought the first one was bad, this one goes over open water, and even higher.
I'd say it's one of the safest in the world, but it doesn't really help me from being freaked out right now. As we get up to the top of Sugarloaf Mountain for our final sunset, we stop for a moment to think about all the crazy times we've experienced, as well as all the good friends we've made here. This city is a breeding ground for fun and excitement with a very big future ahead of it. From booming businesses to heart-stopping landscapes, not to mention hosting the two biggest sporting events in the world within the next 5 years. Rio really is paradise for anyone or anybody to just come and live in the moment. No matter if you're a local carioca, a tourist, or just simply running away from something.